So, since my first guide video for Tier 1 got about 1,000 views or so, and now I have actual credential on the game to prove that my build is pretty good, I'm making another guide for Tier 2 because the build had to change a bit. So, if you're planning on doing bosses in Tier 2, you can't use my previous build from Tier 1. You have to redistribute your stats and you go dexterity first up until it costs 2 points, then strength, then the rest of your points in perception. And you need strength as high as it can get because you need to be able to survive the boss mechanics. I still have to use
It's dangerous to leave the castle unarmed.
I have to use defense
Come,
remedies
pick a weapon.
on the new tree boss and the void wastes. So real quick, to show you that this build is good, I am ranked in the top 100 on all of my Gates of Infinity kills. Right now I'm ranked 17. Yeah, I'm ranked 45 was the highest I've locked in at on Nightmare Conductor, so this build actually works. I'm on Castleton. Right, Castleton. Where does it show it? Castleton. So, anyways, back to the build. So,
It's
I
dangerous
really
to
like
leave the
bonus
castle unarmed.
damage and
Come,
cooldown
pick a
speed
weapon.
for this build. I am running 2-piece Ascended Guardian and 2-piece Phantom Wolf set. I'm running the Dimensional Band set. I went with Butcher's Belt because it's just a nice tank piece. There's not really any damage stats you can get in this slot that are easy to get. Anyways, though, if I could get something that has a primary stat on it, I'd probably take it. Mana regen is also kind of a cornerstone of the build. You have how much? You have almost 200 mana regen on my equipment. Bonus damage is also really important. I have a lot of it. The 15 from the 40 breakpoint on the dexterity, 27 on the
Visit
Rex
the
Chimeras
plaza across from here
crossbows,
if you need to craft something.
18 from the 2-set bonus of Phantom Wolf, 13 on the Bracer of the Primal King, which won't get any higher, and well, the proc from Laquaris Wicked Thorns that increases base damage by 25, which I assume factors in before your damage calculation, so it's like an even better bonus damage that affects your skills in terms of how much they multiply your damage. And this build actually uses a mobility skill. I use Shadow Strike, so this build actually procs that pretty often. So we'll get into the skills as soon as we look at the stats a bit more. So when you're doing something like Gates of Infinity, the scariest thing with this build is the reduction in your stamina regen. But I haven't come across a boss yet that I've had to have more stamina regen on, so it will make your runs much tighter, but you will still be able to pull it off as far as I know so far. What else to go over? Let's look at this real quick. I have high crit because I'm using the Divine Justicar mask, which is a good helmet. People say to use the elusive Hex Weaver hat, which I have one. I don't need the hit, so it's kind of a useless stat, right? I have 500 hit, which is well over hit cap. I like the 50 perception breakpoint though, because it gives the 7.5% range, and that is ultimately uptime.
It's
I have quite a
dangerous
bit
to
of
leave the
range.
castle
I
unarmed.
have over
Come,
an
pick a
extra
weapon.
meter of range, almost 2. So it pays off. It's quite a bit of range, and there's a lot of movement in pretty much every PvE scenario in this game so far, and I assume that when the next fight comes out on the 5th, it's probably going to be even more movement, because that's just my guess with where it's going. So, yeah, I haven't done a Gates of Infinity boss with my current item level. The last one I did was at 29, 28 item level, and I timed it with 15 seconds to spare. So this build has the potential to time pretty quickly. Probably not as quickly as the top builds.
These aren't rare weapons,
close.
but nothing here
Definitely
is useless.
close. Not like the top seconds, the ones that happen in like 30 seconds, but maybe a minute if I get up to like 3,500 combat power. So let's go to the skills real quick. So skills haven't really changed much. It's a thundercloud bombing build. Yeah, let's just go into skill specializations to explain the skill choices. I use effect accumulation on Shadow Strike because it increases the number of stacks that you get when you have Lightning Infusion activated, which I have the cooldown reduction on, because since you don't use Selfless Diffusion in this build, you're really reliant on whatever cooldown reduction you can get, like I used on Thundercloud's bombing. Yeah.
It's dangerous to leave the castle unarmed.
I use
Come,
the
pick a
damage
weapon.
increase on Fatal Stigma and skill range for uptime again. Cleaving Moonlight and just more stacking, right? And then with Quick Fire, you can probably get rid of this. I like it though for the occasional hit that it applies. The damage increase is big because I also use this with a very high crit value, so I can get down to like a 3 or 4 second cooldown with the damage increase of 20% with all the cooldown speed that I have, right? I have Nimble Leap with the 2 charges, and then it resets Quick Fire to extend my opener.
These aren't rare weapons,
Yeah,
but
I
nothing
like the
here
Moral
is
Mark
useless.
chain effect because you get it during while you're clearing trash in dungeons, and there are bosses that summon ads, and you can get it to affect them pretty well, pretty consistently, I should say. My weapon masteries, I am Assassination all the way to the last point, and I am going to go all the way to the buff duration and Poison, and then I'm probably just going to get the defense since I don't need Silence Chance. And then for crossbows, I'm going all the way in, all the way
Visit
to
the plaza across from here if
Bold
you need to
Vision,
craft something.
because if I plan on doubling this for a PvP build somehow, somewhere down the road, then the hit will actually be very useful, because I auto attack with the crossbow. So my passive choices are pretty much everything that gives damage, right? I have the Assassin's Instincts, the crit chance, the poison, and just to increase my chance of if if I, drift my abilities on a boss and my thunderclouds come out in a intermission or in a point where the boss is taking less damage, I have a better chance of the thunderclouds lasting. Or I'll be able to stagger my
Visit the
abilities
plaza
to not
across
waste
from
as
here
many
if you need to craft
cooldowns and
something.
just kind of mana regen while the boss is less desirable to hit. Right? Crit damage, Wrathful Edge, I think, yeah. Piercing Strike, the bonus damage, which is where the rest of the bonus damage comes from in my build, I think. Ambidexterity for the offhand damage. Nature's Power, because more bonus damage, more hit chance, and weaken chance, which is nice because of the skill specializations that I have, right? It enables me to
Visit the
shadow
plaza
strike from
across
a
from
long
here if you need to
distance
craft
and have
something.
a much better chance of applying a thundercloud outside of a lightning infusion window to keep my thundercloud stacks up. Bloodlust is the last one, I think. Yeah, and it just kind of plays into the build. It's more crit damage. So, yeah. And when you are doing AoE farming in outdoor dungeons and the Abyss contract dungeons, I take the effect accumulation off Shadow Strike, and I take the, well, now that I have the boots, because I just got them, the Ascended Guardian boots, I would probably take the Gale off of Quickfire, and
It's dangerous to leave the
change it
castle
to
unarmed.
Annihilating
Come,
Barrage
pick a
Shot.
weapon.
It's not a big deal to have these extra 2 points, and I think there might even be somewhere you can put them. No, there isn't. But yeah, that's for doing outdoor dungeons, and then you take weak point shot, because I don't think I have anything in that, do I? Yeah, no. You take weak point shot off your bar and you replace it with annihilating barrage shot, and that gives you something to put out pretty much every other pack if your group is keeping a good pace and able to pull a lot. There's places that you can't, like Shadowed Crypt, but I mean, even then, if you go to the side rooms, sometimes you can. But yeah.
It's dangerous to leave the castle unarmed.
I also use Rupturing Parry.
Pick a weapon.
I know it doesn't matter. Block Blade seems more worth it, but I like Rupturing Parry for the health recovery. So yeah, that's the build. If you want to tweak anything, I would suggest switching. What I'm looking at is potentially switching the Divine Justicar mask to a Phantom Wolf mask. But that's the only upgrade that I would make to the build.
It's dangerous to leave the castle unarmed. Come, pick a weapon.
On that note, with the NPC talking, yeah, that's the whole guide. If you liked it, if you think you're going to use it, drop me a like, maybe subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I upload content almost every day for this game. So, I also play a Sword and Shield wand build that I'm converting to a tank right now. And I do big AoE pulls and in abyssal dungeons. So, yeah, that's the whole guide. So, see ya.